listening to Breakfast with Tiffany with your host, Tyffanie Morgan.
That's right, sweet peas. It's me. It's me. Well, hello there, my little sweet peas, my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tiffany Morgan, calling to you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of limestone and the home to me, Miss Tiffany Morgan. That's right. That's right. You're listening to C4C 101.9 FM here in Kingston, campus and community radio. Isn't it fabulous? Isn't it great? we still have radio. It's still available to us. Oh, look at that. Oh, sorry. Getting notifications. Notifications on the phone. Better turn that off. This is live. All right, Stevie. So how are you doing? How are you staying safe and well? Hopefully with hunkered down in your family housing units and all that kind of stuff. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Hunkered down in your family units and stuff. I see friends of mine posting photos of they got new puppies playing around on the floor. I got photos of people with cats, Sphinx cats, all dressed up and nowhere to go for New Year's Eve. It was a fabulous New Year's, wasn't it? I had a great time New Year's Eve. What can I say? It was where am I going with that? It was good. It was good. So, if you didn't log in to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever I was, we had some technical difficulties with Facebook, but I was doing a New Year's countdown, a New Year's Eve countdown right at the midnight. We had dancing, we had music by DJ Tiger Styles. I had drag numbers from Lilith Kane, from Rowena Way, from Mimiosa, from myself, and more dance music and stuff. So you can and that was being broadcast online live, so that you could have enjoyed some time, at home with your family, with your roommates, with whoever you're living with. Remember, singletons who live alone are allowed to be adopted by households elsewhere. But but yeah, I had a great time. I did have a few libations. And things got a little blurry after midnight. I'm not too really sure what happened after that, but I do know I I didn't try to walk home alone because I was already home. I was already home, asleep in my bed by whatever time it was. It was a very odd New Year's. A lot of us people have traditions of going out, spending it with friends, with family, maybe having a few libations, maybe a little spread or something, or going out to a bar and having some champers. And so this was a very interesting year. It's the new gray lockdown. I was speaking to some friends of mine who live in Toronto, and they've been in the gray lockdown for a very long time. So they're like, there's nothing new. That's not new to us, but it's new to me. We haven't experienced it before. But yeah, so I had a good time. I hope you had a good time too. And if you want to watch some of that, I think the video is available on YouTube. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties on Facebook. For some reason, some point in the program, the feed died on Facebook. I don't know what that. If I was paying Facebook, I would have been asking for a refund, but I don't, so I can't ask for a refund for that. But it is what it is. I kind of half expected it. Like New Year's would have been like high traffic and stuff. They would have booted people who were live streaming off. What can I say? Anyway, but yeah, so that was my New Year's. And ever since then, I've just been a couch potato. Couch potato. I know all the folds and wrinkles in my couch right now. What can I say? I'm watching TV like it's no one's It's just terrible. I'm binge watching. Luckily, you can find some lovely programs that have been around for like 20 years, and you can binge watch those and feel comfortable binge watching them because basically each episode is the same. And you're like, yeah, there's 14 years of this. This is great. This is great. 20 years, whatever. It's like, yeah, I can't get through all this in one weekend. So check mark. Sometimes you feel bad after going through an entire series in one weekend, right? Because you're like, how many hours did I just spend? But this, I don't feel guilt at all because I have no idea how many hours I've spent watching 20 years of of whatever program it is. I'm not going to mention it because actually I'll mention it. I'll mention it. It's not like they're sponsoring me or anything, but Law and Order. There's like 20 seasons of it or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to get through that in like a day, in a week. I'm good. I'm safe. So, do we have any New Year's resolutions? Do we? Because I haven't. I haven't made any New Year's resolutions other than maybe to do the other resolutions that I had planned for 2020 done. Maybe do the taxes this year. Like, there's not a whole lot of resolutions that are like, burning resolutions to get done. I will say though that it's important to stay active and stuff like that during lockdown. So I think I'm going to force myself to do something. I have like go out and get groceries. That's yeah. It can become when you're an office worker working from home with a good job. Sometimes the indulgence is to order out. When you're running out of food in the fridge, order out or whatever. But I think I need to get out there and get me to the grocery store. Get me to the grocery store. Not to socialize, but to actually stock up on food and cook it for myself. Because and then just that, getting out and walking down to the grocery store. That's a little bit of exercise for me. So, again, that's on my checklist of things to do as an adult in 2021. What can I say? What can I say? So something has been on my mind today, and it's about trying to find some ways of earning a little bit of extra pocket change. You know what I mean? Getting a little bit of pocket change. So the drag shows that I do. So I'm a drag queen here in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. If you didn't know that already, we do drag shows, in-person drag shows, and that's how a little bit of spare pocket change. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Learn sewing. Someone just posted on they're like, learn to sew. I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's your things to do. Okay, yeah. 2020. That's an ambition. Learn to sew. I can make a moo. It's just some straight stitches. My stitches tend not to be straight, but they're at least somewhat straight. I can do a moo. I can do a moo. But earn a little bit of extra pocket change, a little extra pocket change, because we're not doing live shows during lockdown. That's not happening. That's not happening. So what can I be doing? And I did some researching online, and I was like, well, um, uh, does a local drag queen get into selling beauty products online or something like that? I was looking at a lot of online stuff, and a term came up that I hadn't heard before, and it was drop shipping. Drop shipping, and that's not what people would be like an affiliate program. But drop shipping is like you have your own storefront website, and people use that to make orders, and then you, as the website owner, would send that request out to a producer distributor sort of thing, in order for them to be like, okay. So I on my website I have let's say, I don't know, a wig. Let's just say I have a wig on my website that's selling for $40, and they do that transaction with me. Someone buys it through my website. I then send the request to this warehouse somewhere else that has the wig, and then they would box it. Oh, and they sell the wig for, let's say, $30. So I take that $40, I pay $30 for the wig, and then they send the wig from their warehouse to the person who bought it. So that's called drop shipping. So that and so therefore, if I sell it for 40 and it only costs me 30 to get it shipped and stuff like that, then it's like $10 change, right? And it was interesting. There's affiliate programs out there too, where you can get a percentage of any sales that are done through a website, and they do all that transactional stuff. But anyway, it's interesting. There's so many different methods online to try to earn a few little pennies. A few little pennies. What can I say? But I'm looking into it. So, Sweet Peas, if you have any experience doing that or anything like that, why don't you or horror stories or I'm just interested. If you know anything about any kind of experience doing drop shipping or something like that, give me a shout. You can message me on Facebook. So it's Tyffanie Morgan, Tyffanie, Morgan, the regular spelling, and or you can just email me Tyffanie@Tyffanie.com. That's Tyffanie@Tyffanie.com. But yeah, it's an interesting prospect. It's an interesting prospect. It's not like I'm not selling Avon. It's an interesting anyway. So I'm thinking about that. Just need a little bit of pocket change to help pay and tip my my Skip the Dishes, my DoorDash, my Uber Eats delivery person. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Uh, it's so bad. It's so bad. What can I say? If you are a member of Kingston Pride, so here in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, there's Kingston Pride, which is the LGBTQ organization in town who does the Pride festivities and stuff like that. I manage the website, and I will freely admit that the website's not working right now. It is not working. We may have been hacked. Just to give a heads up there, no private information had been exposed there. But the website was hacked. It's a common thing that these hackers want to get into the website, and basically what happens is that they break into the website just so that it can be forwarded on to another website that is trying to either steal your information or get you to sell something, blah blah blah. So that kind of happened. I'm sorry. It's these things happen, and especially happens to Pride websites. I will freely admit, the hackers' IP addresses were from Russia, which is not a big surprise in my books. But I'm working at redoing the website, so it's taking a while. I have to rebuild it from scratch. It was such a terrible hack. I have to rebuild it from scratch. But don't worry, Sweet Peas. We're doing really well. We're doing really well. Oh, someone just sent me a message. I'm a graphic designer, and I've set up my own site for drop shipping branded goods from a company called... Okay. So if you ever want someone to design you... Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so... Someone's just offering me to do some graphic designing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I tried to sell Tyffanie branded T-shirts at one point. 10 years ago, mind you. It was like 10 years ago. There was T-shirts with my face on it, blah, blah, blah. They were not selling. So obviously, I did not reach out to my target market, as they call it. I did not reach out. I did not get my target market really pinned down at that point. So, but yeah, there's all. I'm just looking around. And we'll see. Where we can find a little dinero, a little bit of dinero, a little little bit of dinero. What can I say? What can I say? Happy New Year, Larry. Happy New Year. But yeah, so I'll be working on the Kingston Pride website, just getting that up and running again. I am so sorry to the Pride members out there that this happened. Again, don't worry, no personal information has been hacked from that. So it's just the website is going to, or was going to. It's no longer doing that. Trust me. It was going to these clickbait websites, basically wanting you to click and wanting you to, put in your personal information. It was terrible. So we stopped that. We stopped that. We cleared that up. But yeah, so it's about 15, 16 minutes into the program here. We're only 30 minutes here on CFRC 101.9 FM, CFRC.ca. So I'm going to take this little moment here to suggest, hey, if you want to donate to CFRC, go to cfrc.ca/donate now. That's cfrc.ca/donate now, and this helps keep us live on the radio waves and stuff like that. With all the different programming and stuff. You should check out cfrc.ca. There's a lot of podcasts on the website there too. There's a lot of other programs too, especially LGBTQ, 2S LGBTQ kind of programming as well. And yeah, like there's Gender Talk, there's that other promy type program where they play music. So yeah, you should if you're inclined, please donate at cfrc.ca/donate now. And also on the vein of donations, I think the Rainbow Railroad campaign is still going. I thought it ended at the end of this year, but when I went to the website, I still was able to donate. So we're trying to raise funds. Me and a lot of the other drag performers here in Kingston are trying to raise some funds for Rainbow Railroad, which is a organization which saves LGBTQI lives around the world, getting them out of harmful, dangerous situations into safe houses, into safe countries, into into safety. It doesn't always necessarily mean getting them into Canada. Sometimes it does. So if you want to donate, go to donate.rainbowrailroad.org/fabulous. Fabulous. All right, donate.rainbowrailroad.org/fabulous. And that goes to our team of drag performers. And yeah, it's always a good thing. It's always a good thing. All right, so I did want to talk. So in previous podcasts and stuff like that, when I would show, because I do record this live, and I also air this on Facebook and Twitch and stuff like that too. So there's a little bit of a video aspect on that side, and I would show photos of my garden and talk about my garden. So let's talk about my garden right now. My garden right now is under like 6 inches of snow outside, but the indoor garden is still going strong, i.e. the houseplants and all the tropical plants that I've moved in to the house. So the bougainvillea, excuse me, burps. The bougainvillea has not stopped growing. It has not stopped growing. I don't know what's going on, and it hasn't stopped blooming either. I have no idea what to do with it. So I think what I should have done, which is what I did last winter, is I kind of put it into a dormant state. So some of these tropical plants can go dormant. It's not because of the temperatures most of the time. It's due to the water levels that they receive. So some tropical plants have these dormancies where there's less water. So like let's say the monsoons have stopped and it's now a dried out period. So they have less watering, and what they will do is they will drop all their leaves. And the bougainvillea did that last year because I reduced the watering, and it was so messy. Oh my gosh, there was leaves all over the place. It was just like, the vacuum couldn't keep up with it. It was just too much. So this year I was like, I'm not going to let it drop its leaves. I'm just going to maybe I should have done that because it's also still growing all over the place. Luckily, this year, checking the pests, it's an important thing for your indoor plants, especially during winter, to check for pests. Because you could have brought them in. Like if you put your plants outside and then you brought your plants in, guess what? You could be bringing in a pest with it too. And the pests really love indoor. A lot of pests love the indoors. Why? Because it's dry. Because there's no rain pummeling down on them. There's no predators. There's no predators. There's some insects out there that will eat other insects, but they don't come inside for the winter. They take a nap. They take a nap. And yeah, so a nice dry kind of warm environment too. So those pests can sometimes just go like get out of control. So aphids are one of them. Mealybugs, scale is one. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of scale, but they're a bug that look like little bumps on some plants. But luckily, cross fingers, knock on wood. There we go, knocked on wood. I haven't had much. Spider mites is a very common one. I did have some spider mites. But I used some product to help control that, and it seems to have done a really fabulous job, and I haven't had them. So what I would suggest for your indoor garden today is to make sure to check your plants for any pests. Give them a little bit of water, give them a little bit of love there too. But yeah, and what I would also suggest is to check your seed catalogs. It's seed catalog time. Yeah! Yeah! Seed catalog. Seed catalogs. I started to receive I received my first seed catalog before Christmas. Now that is a smart marketing right there. That is smart marketing. This last year, it was a huge thing for seeds and plant sales and stuff like that because of COVID. Everyone, I remember, um, like March, I was digging out old seeds hoping that they would germinate because, you call in or you go to a website and they're like, oh, we're run out of these seeds, and you're like, oh, I really wanted those seeds. I had some last year. Let's look for them, and hopefully they'll still germinate. Some seeds don't survive that long. Some seeds do. But yeah, there was a lot of people sharing seeds. I remember some people were like, "Oh, I had these seeds from last year. Let's try growing them." So this year, the seed companies they know. They know that if we're still in lockdown and if we're still doing the social distancing and isolation, people are going to garden once you're able to get outside. So the seed catalogs are coming out. I received one before Christmas. I received one this week, and I totally expect to receive like 3 or 4 others in the next week here as well. So it's time. It's time, sweet peas. So when you order from the seed catalogs, what it takes like 2 weeks or something like that for you to receive the seeds, and then we need to start planning the growing year. Let's talk about the growing year. All right. So if you buy the seeds early on, so let's in the next 2, 3, by the end of January, let's just say by the end of January, you go through the catalogs, you select the seeds that you want. What is the on vogue for the 2021 growing season? Is it this plant? Is it cucamelons? Is it flowers? Is it squashes? What is it? And you order those seeds. You get those seeds, let's say mid February. You order them by the end of January. You get them mid February. And then you got to start thinking about some of those plants that need to be started indoors. I do not start in February. February may be a little too early here in Kingston, Ontario to start your seeds indoors. Your seeds, sometimes let's just say some seeds may take 2 weeks to germinate at most. When we're talking about garden vegetables, quite often a week, maybe 2 weeks. And you gotta time that out. You gotta time it out that their inside started, but they're not going to get too, as we call, leggy. We don't want them to be growing indoors for way too long and then they're too big and they're floppy moppy and they can't withstand being put outside into the open garden because the wind would just take them away, like Mary Poppins. Get damaged. So there's a lot of prep work for that. You have to time it out properly. We can talk more about that later. But along this time, then too, we got to start thinking about the grow spaces, the indoor grow spaces. Where are you gonna put the seedlings that are, where you're gonna start the seedlings in the house? A south-facing sunny window is a really great idea. If you have some additional lighting, that's even better. But you want these seedlings, when they first start off, to get as much sunlight as possible. When you choose the soil, it really doesn't matter that much. There's a lot of seed starting soils that are out there, mediums as they call them, because they're not really soils. They're not soils. They're mediums, because seeds don't need nutrients to grow. They have the nutrients built into them. It's once the plant is growing that they need nutrients. So you can like how many of us started off growing beans in school, like let's say grade 1, kindergarten, whatever, and you have a little clear plastic cup, and you put some paper into it, some paper napkin into it, and you put some bean seeds in there, and they start growing. Like, they don't need nutrients. They can grow, like a seed will grow anywhere. It's just the plant afterwards. The plant afterwards needs some help. Yeah, so it's exciting. It's exciting. January is the idea prospects. What am I? You plan. What am I going to grow this year? What am I going to grow? What went well last year? What didn't do well last year? And let's go through those seed catalogs and see what we can grow. So I have no idea at this point. I've barely looked through the catalogs at this point. I don't even know what the season's like best picks are right now. I know last year seemed to be the trend was a lot of kind of crazy squashes. Summer squashes, winter squashes, those sort of thing. They seem to be popular last year. At least I found here in Kingston. So I'm not too sure what it will be this year. And when it comes to flowers, what were I don't even know what people were doing for flowers. I grew a bunch of echinaceas from seed. They did not bloom. They would take about 2 years to bloom. But of course, marigolds. I save the seeds every year for the marigolds that I have here, and I've saved a lot again this year. So if you're hey, if you're a friend of mine and you're like, oh, I want some marigolds, yeah, give me a call. Give me a call. Oh my goodness sakes! All right, sweet peas. We're getting very close. We're getting very close to the end here. Just wanted to say, normally I would do like events, talk about events going on here in and around Kingston for LGBTQ plus events, and there's not much. There's not much. What can I say? And there's online radio. You're listening to Breakfast with Tiffany, 101.9 FM on CFRC 101.9 FM. I'm Tiffany Morgan, drag queen extraordinaire. I'm sure I'll probably schedule some online events soon, just so that we can break this up. Break up the lockdown here. But I haven't really planned anything. I've been taking a little bit of a break. What can I say? Like I said, I was watching a lot of Law and Order for days and days on edge. I haven't done much. What can I say? We're allowed to relax, but I'm back to work. I'm sure a lot of us are all back to work. Oh, some of us have young children, and they're back to school online, and that's a bit difficult, isn't it? Anyway, sweet peas, I'm going to let you go. I give you my love. Mwah. You stay safe now, and happy 2021.